I want to talk to you about something that is happening to the hobby right now that's going to affect you and me a lot more than you think. I was on the internet and I saw this 70 Charger RT for sale for peanuts. And then I looked and there's a 71 Charger RT and a 70 AAR Cuda being auctioned off right now online. And the bidding on both of these is sitting at values that, well, at first glance look unbelievable. But here's the thing. The real story isn't what these cars are worth. The real story is how these cars ended up on this auction site. And that tells us a lot more about what's going on in the hobby right now. Now, I want to be clear. The auction site describes itself as a place that sells repos and lease return vehicles from banks and finance companies. Now, I tried to contact them multiple times. Never got a response, but I did a lot of internet sleuthing, and I have confirmed that this is exactly what we're looking at, and I had the receipts to prove it. Most of us don't walk into this hobby with, boatloads of cash. I mean, what we do is we scrimp and save, we sell parts, we do trades, trying to work our way up to the car. Or if you're lucky like me, you ended up getting it a long time ago. But nevertheless, some of us out there actually are financing these cars. And they think that maybe they can make those payments over time. Sometimes they do, but what happens if the payments, they're quite substantial and they don't change, but your economic condition does? What happens then? This isn't a video about some hedge fund guy losing a bunch of Ferraris. This is about your neighbor. This is about the guy at work. This is about the guy at the cruise-in who's actually financing these cars, and then they end up on the wrong side of the deal. Here's the thing. A classic car isn't like financing your daily driver that depreciates like a stone every year. No, a classic car holds its value, or even increases in value over time. And borrower and lenders know this. So they're very generous on the terms. But for the borrower, this isn't their daily driver. So this ends up being, a dream car, a toy, a weekend fun car. Now, with the classic, you also have other things that go along with it, just like your regular car, and then some. You have payment, you have that payment, you have the insurance, then you have repairs and maintenance, because classics are notorious for this. And then you also will have, like, if you need a part for it and it's very expensive or hard to get, and we've talked about in this previous video, that adds to the cost of having a classic car. Now, when money gets tight, certain things are going to be gotten rid of or just passed off. They become expendable. Your weekend toy can be that and will be that. So sometimes they'll try to bring a consignment shop, try to do a private sale, but in the worst case scenario, when they run out of options, the bank comes and takes the car. Now, this is called a repossession. A repossession auction isn't a magic discount warehouse. No, it is a liquidation process for the lender to be able to recoup some of the cost of that car. So here's the thing. This doesn't affect the guy that is buying that car for the cheap price of like $25,000. He's getting that car and a great deal. What it affects is the person who's not in this video. The person who lost that car, the previous owner. Someone financing this car missed some payments, and the bank took it back. Whatever this sells for, that's what gets applied to that existing loan, and it ends up being wiped off that bank's books. And that's not even what they owed. And if it sells low, the bank has now lost the difference. That's the real cost of a repo. And it's not even the buyer that's paying for it. And it doesn't stop there. With a car like this, a genuinely rare six-figure Mopar gets forced through a liquidation and lands up selling for a fraction of its true value. The sale becomes a data point, and it becomes a part of that valuation process. And it shows up in comps. And it can get pointed out as what these cars are actually selling for. And it does a skew to the data, even though it's really just the bank trying to clear a lien really as fast as they can. That's how a handful of forced sales can start to drag down the perceived value of these cars. And for the owners, they have nothing to do with this auction. According to the auction, this AAR Cuda, that I'm going to use the example, is a fully documented car with complete documenting history. And look at the pictures of this car. This is a full-on restoration. And according to the listing, also, this Charger RT is a rare bird too. It has an A34 Super Track Pack and a Dana 60 full 46 pack for 10 years. These are rare pieces, and these are real specific factory options. And everything appears very accurate because there is nothing hidden here. These are legitimately special cars. You don't, but you don't have to establish that with a headline and a few photos. You establish that with the VIN, that full data plate, the build sheet, the casting numbers they show. So let's go find out. Here is what you should stop you cold. This is not a $25,000 car. Hell, it's not even a $50,000 car. Based on what I'm about to show you, this is close to a $100,000 car, sitting currently at a bid of $24,700 at the time of filming. This is not a bargain. This is a fire sale. The site, now this site states right here on the page, I'm going to put this up, that all their cars have liens on them. That is not a footnote. This is actually in the about section right here. These aren't cars people are choosing to sell. These are cars a lender is pulling back and moving out the door for whatever they can get as fast as they can get. And this site does that process. And when a lender's motivated to just clear the lien and move on, the price stops reflecting the car's actual worth. It reflects how badly they want to get it gone. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't just throw around that word repo lightly. So let me show you the actual, information, because this one is not a guess. This is like dead on same car. Now we're going to use this. We're going to pull up the fender tags for this 70 AAR Cuda. First of all, it's in F8 green, which is weird, and it has a vinyl top. Two strange things on an AAR Cuda. Now look at the sequence number, 297349. F8 green metallic. Now watch this. This is the 70 AAR Cuda that sold on Bring a Trailer back in October of 22. Same fender tag, same sequence number, 297349. Same paint code, same markings. This is not a similar car. This is the same car. This is the same physical Plymouth Cuda AAR. And it's sold for $89,000 plus whatever fees. And the site right here has it listed now at a buy it now price at $42,460. So now we know what the nut is. The current bid is sitting at, at the time of filming, at $24,000 and change. Same VIN, same paint, less than half the money. Now let's look at this Charger RT. Bring it up here. I found the same car. It's same options, same everything, and it's sold on ClassicCars.com for $72,900. This car previously had been at Meekum in 2019. So this person's been trying to sell this car for a while up to this point, and it finally did sell. Can't figure out when, but because Classic Car doesn't show us. But now the current bid, the ending bid, is $25,270 on this car. And here's the part that really got my attention. The language they used for both descriptions on ClassicCar.com talks about the original fender tag, the track pack, the Dana 60 with short grip. I mean, they're using the exact same terminology. At first you think it's a coincidence, maybe who wrote it knows a lot about Mopar terminology and, they know it just dead smack cold like I do. No. But between the AAR Cuda match and the Charger language, and just all the descriptions, that gap alone tells you something. Either nobody involved knows what these cars are actually worth, which, come on, it's too easy these days, or exactly what happens when a lender pulls a car back, takes it back through, and they need it gone fast to try to cover that nut. And the second one is what this whole video is all about. So here's the thing. This car got pulled back and now it's being sold really, really cheap. Most people now that got into this car, into the first time, finance that car. And that's where you start getting really ugly kind of fast, because you know exactly how these cars are really worth. So let's do some real numbers. I'm going to show you exactly a real calculation I took from J.J. Best. They are a very well-known finance company. So let's go over and take a look at these numbers. Now, I did it for what the average thing is usually 7 years, and an average interest rate now on these cars, 8.49%. So let's get into this AAR Cuda's value, what its sell value would be. So it's like $89,000. Now you put 10% down. Now it leaves like $80,100 financed at 8.59% for 84 months, 7 years. And that payment is $1,268 a month. A month. It's a mortgage for 7 years. By the time the loan is paid off, whoever bought this car handed the lender over $26,000 in interest. An $89,000 car actually cost $115,000 out of the pocket on those 7 years. That's before insurance, that's before storage, that's before having to fix it, put gas in it, anything. That's just having the car. This is the insanity. Now, the guy who financed it at that price, the market cooled, or the payment got tight, or something happened, and that's how a real documented AAR Cuda ends up on a site that sells repos and cars with liens on them for 3 years, about 3-4 years after it last sold, for less than half of what it actually sold. That's the whole game right there. It isn't what this car originally sold for. It's that it was financed and there was 7 years of payments behind it. Does this mean the market is turning? Well, based on what I just found with this AAR Cuda and, the 71 Charger, the Cuda definitely hard valued at $89,000 just like 3 to 4 years ago. Yeah, I'd say it's starting to fray at the edges, especially, people that are financing, at the top. They're getting caught out, and I think they can't hold on because things have changed a lot in 4 years. Now, this isn't a reason to panic. Hell, if you actually have money on the side, this could be a buying opportunity. If you do your homework, but you got to do your homework. You got to verify. Check the VIN, check the fender tag, check all the documentation that goes with the car, and then check what it actually sold at, the last time. You can find these things out online. Obviously, I did. And that's not just what the listing says the car is worth. Now, drop in a comment below. I generally want to know, are you seeing this in your area? I mean, are you going to, your consignment shop and seeing a lot of cars just flooding that, with ridiculously low prices? Do you know guys backing out of their projects? Cars showing up for sale that really shouldn't? Just say that below, please. And if you got a buddy with a classic car who's thinking about buying one online, share this video with him, please. This might save them this might save them thousands of dollars and a lot of time. And if you have a classic car already, take it out, because it will make someone's day, probably your own, and I'll catch you very soon.